Ma'am, start, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. A very good evening to you all. And we are live on YouTube now for today's Sunday Transformational Meditation class. So, first, paying my respects to my masters, Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, and all our wonderful Sangha for holding us and giving us this beautiful space where we can share and we can learn and we can actually flow with the flow. So today we thought that we'll have a very beautiful topic for discussion, which is the path of least resistance, flow with the flow. That's why the backdrop we have created very calm blue waters in the backdrop. It has a very calming effect. So the first thing flowing with the flow does to us is calm us down. Tranquility. That's what happens when we look at the sea, when we look at water, when we listen to the sound of the waves. We grow tranquil. So let us know what more about this path of least resistance. Now, what is this path of least resistance? In the English language, if we look at the meaning of this, it refers to the easiest or most convenient way to achieve a goal, the path of least resistance. If we have watched a football match and we see that when a footballer scores a goal, how he maneuvers through the entire football field and he scores a goal, right? So the path of least resistance refers to the easiest or the most convenient way to achieve a goal, often implying a less challenging or potentially less effective approach. In essence, it's the option that requires the least effort or opposition. But this is what it appears. This is just the generic meaning of the path of least resistance. In the physical sense, for example, is that water flows down a hill following the path of least resistance or the easiest route. We have seen water flowing path, from a higher, water always flows from a higher altitude to a lower altitude. So water flowing down a hill, following the path of least resistance or the easiest route. Concept is, it's the path that minimizes friction or opposition to motion. Very beautifully, we can connect this to our family constellations. Our masters have taught us that love in a family always flows from parents, mother, father to a child. And Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi always correlate it as a water which is flowing from the mountain down the path. So when that water flows down that hill, it is the path of least resistance. So Sir always emphasizes that parents give and children receive. So that is also the path of least resistance. If water were to run in the opposite direction, it creates disturbance. It creates flowing against the resistance, flowing against the current. Yeah. So it's the path that minimizes friction or an opposition to motion. In spirituality, what does this mean? This path of least resistance, the spiritual ease, the path of least resistance. So, spiritually, the path of least resistance is often viewed as the ideal path. It is the most ideal path, the path of least resistance. It's about going with the flow, aligning with the universe's rhythms, and accepting what comes with grace and ease. So it's about going with the flow, aligning with the universe's rhythms, and acceptance of what comes with grace and ease. But it does not imply laziness. It does not imply non-doing at all. When we have reasons why we choose to do certain workshops when we come there. But if we would not come for the workshops, we would be stagnant. We would be where we are, still trying to find out our answers. So it's not about laziness, but it is about learning, about accepting what comes with ease and grace. This path teaches us to be in harmony with our surroundings. This is a very, very important line. Where does all the conflict arise from? When we want to change something which is existing, and we are always looking out what we want to change rather than being in the present moment, finding peace in the present, and to embrace life's unpredictability with a calm heart. So, this path of least resistance teaches us to be in harmony with our surroundings. Very important. Why do we always find that we are in disharmonious situations? We are not at harmony with our own self, also. The moment we wake up in the morning, we criticize our own self. I overslept, I did not exercise, I ate this, and I have to complete this. You're just not at harmony. First thing would be to be okay with your own body, treating it as a temple of God. And our bodies are about 72% made up of water. And water has a memory. If we read about Emoto's findings, that water has a beautiful memory and water responds to our thoughts, water responds to how we talk to it. So whenever we talk to our body, because our bodies are made up of about 70% water, we are actually the creators of our own diseases and our own health and well-being. So it's so important to treat ourselves well. So let's come to this concept in Taoism, Wu Bi. I'm trying to pronounce it the best that I can. Wu Bi, a central concept in Taoism, translates to non-doing or effortless action. effortless action. What is this non-doing? It does not mean that we don't do anything. But as even the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna puts it like, we do, but we do not get attached to the outcome. Once we get attached to the outcome, we invite suffering in our lives. Or effortless action. It does not, they don't say that non-action, but our action has to be effortless. And when do our actions become effortless? I think all actions which arise from our heart center are effortless. When we are able to love wholly and completely, our actions become effortless. I think the pathway just opens up for us the moment we function from a heart center. The road ahead clears up for us. And that's when the effortlessness comes into our life. Whatever we do, it is effortless because of the heart centeredness. So it's about aligning oneself with the natural flow of the universe, achieving harmony and effectiveness without forceful exertion. Aligning oneself with the natural flow of the universe. We align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe. Instead of striving or forcing outcomes, who we emphasize is spontaneity, allowing things to unfold naturally. We are a lot in a hurry. We want children to grow up fast. We want children. We don't want children. We want adults in child bodies. Children have lost their spontaneity. They are victims of comparison thanks to the parents. They have lost that twinkle in their eyes. A child has a beautiful twinkle in their eyes. They have a certain kind of laughter. Seldom do we see a child now who has that beautiful twinkle in their eyes, because we want our children to grow up very fast. Very early, they are sent to school. Instead of encouraging them to get dirty in the sand, play in the water, we send them to chess classes. We send them to acting classes. We send them to speaking classes, etc., etc. So we are forcing outcomes from our children instead of allowing them to be a child. And what about the childlike qualities in adults? We have forgotten how to laugh spontaneously. We are controlled, and we try to control everything. Thanks to social media, we want a certain kind of outcome of ourselves. We want to present ourselves in a certain way. So everything is about doing, striving, forcing outcomes, instead of allowing things to unfold naturally. We must be and not do. To add more, it means letting things happen the way they happen, not how you want them to happen. It means to let go of certain expectations, certain outcomes, to stop acting against the natural current of life. mostly all of us can relate to these lines. Certain things that we expect, everything. We have an expectation of every action that we do. We want an outcome from that. If you do this, you can have this. If you do this, we can have this. The entire rut of life goes around this. And our poor children, if you don't study, you'll be a tea vendor on the road. Everything is about outcomes. And when we have these conditions to ourselves, we inculcate a belief, we instill a belief system in ourselves, hardcore beliefs, depending on our conditioning and how we are conditioned, we condition our children in the same way. We forget that we have to go with the flow and it is okay. Nothing is okay for us because we want a certain we have a certain expectation. It is, I am not saying that it is wrong to expect, but we don't have to get attached to the outcome, as the Gita says, as Krishna has taught. We put in our best and leave the rest. To stop acting against the natural current of life. So think about it. Too often we are told the more effort we put in, the more we get out of something. But every day we experience that this is simply not true. This has instilled such a strong belief system in the human race, especially in Indians. There's so much belief system that money can be earned only if you work very hard. We know that is not true. A photographer, a very good photographer, may earn money what he earns in 2 hours, a laborer may earn in a month. But it's a belief system that we have to work very hard. But it is not true. Is it that more effort? More effort is trying to push the outcome of something. Do we really allow others also to be themselves? Please ask yourself that question. Are we really allowing others to be themselves? Or we wish to control? We wish to control our husbands. We wish to control our children. The husbands wish to control their wives. Are we really allowing themselves to be what they are? Or we are constantly judgmental about them, or we constantly want them to act in a certain manner, to behave in a certain manner, to work in a certain manner. Think about that. And the more effort we are, and we put in so much effort, and then there is only disappointment. And then we are completely drained because the outcomes are not what we want. But are we really allowing people to flow in that river of life? Or we are constantly posing as hurdles? At the end of the day, it's not about others, it is about ourselves. Me and me only, it is about myself. Am I allowing others to be themselves? Or I'm constantly wanting them to behave in a certain way, to act in a certain way? It's a very important question to ponder on. See, these are some examples, about how how we push ourselves. For instance, when you want to fall asleep quickly, you'll only stir up restlessness. It's a very common thing, isn't it? I tell myself, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, and I go to bed and I'm so restless and I'm staring at the fan and I just can't sleep. Look at the force that I'm putting in. Or do I allow myself, maybe I can really sip a hot cup of milk, calm down, maybe meditate before I go to sleep? Do I give myself that space? Or I push myself, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep. The harder you try, the more you roll around in bed. This is just a very simplest example that how we want to push outcomes. Or maybe when you're fighting your anxiety, it actually increases your anxiety. You will get anxious about being anxious. Anxious about being anxious. Sad about being sad. Fearful about being fearful before any meeting because we want to push outcomes. We seldom say, let's see what happens, isn't it? We seldom say all that. So we want to push outcomes all the time. So what is it about who we? So embracing who we is to be in harmony with nature. Like when you stop trying to fall asleep, you finally drift away. Many a times when we are reading a beautiful novel, we are so absorbed in the novel and we go to sleep. When we listen to beautiful meditation music without realizing, we go to sleep. We allow that wonderful feeling to be one with ourselves and slowly we drift away. Are we really in harmony with the process that is happening around us? Or we're just trying to push, push, and push? And we know Newton's third law of nature. To every action, there's a reaction, equal and opposite reaction. We are pushed back with greater force. We try to push, we are in turn pushed back. In fact, we go behind from where we started. We are even more behind than that. Why? Because we are pushing too hard. Bruce Lee said it best. We all know who's Bruce Lee. He was an icon. And they say that martial arts is also a type of meditation. And he was one of the best. So he says that be like water making its way through cracks. We know water finds a way through anything, but it will always find its way. Hence, there is a solution to everything if we allow ourselves to flow. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. Such a beautiful line, especially when we are dealing with people. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you'll find a way around it or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. What does this mean? If nothing within you stays rigid, Staying rigid means having very strong beliefs about people, about things, about situations, about outcomes. So rigid we are, depending on our conditioning. We are rigid in dealing with people. So often we say, we have grown up listening to, if you don't do this, you will fail. If you don't do this, you will fail. If you don't do this, you will be called useless. Once you grow up, you must do this. No, if you don't do this, nobody will respect you. If you don't do this, nobody will love you. So already we have a thick, thick glass of beliefs that we wear, and we see the world through them. So if that rigidness is there in me, how will the truth disclose itself to me? How will the outward things disclose themselves to me? So I have to be flexible. If I have to flow with the flow, I should be willing to maneuver, to adjust, to be flexible, to be like water, to be one with this energy of water, just flowing. I have to give myself permission to flow. Water can flow or it can crash. So he says that, be water, my friend. I'll read these lines again. Be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. So ask yourself this question. This is about a certain thing, a certain action, certain effort. That what would this look like if it were easy? What would it look like if it were easy? We always assume that everything is, it is an effort, it is hard. So, what would it look like if it were easy? Because we are so conditioned to hardship. We are so conditioned to hardship. So, what would this look like if it were easy? It's a very deep, you can just close your eyes, and something which is requiring a lot of effort in your life. You're putting in a lot of effort. Just step into that energy of ease and ask yourself this question. What would this look like if it were easy? Simple question. What would this look like if it were easy? And just give yourself permission to get into this space of ease. They say that, be a scientist. Be a scientist. Sir also calls himself, Dr. Newton, very wonderfully calls himself that I'm a spiritual scientist. So be a scientist. Why does life feel so hard? Why do we force things? Why do we burn out? Ask yourself these questions. Why is it that life is so hard? What is it? What is it? Why does life feel so hard? Why do we force things? Why do we burn out? No. So these questions share the same root cause. We desperately want things to be different than they are right now. We want different outcomes. We want things to be different than they are right now. And if we cling to this mindset, we'll never be truly content. We'll always find a flaw, something to optimize, something to force into our cramped world view. Because we want to control the outcomes. We don't want to flow with the flow. We want to divert. We want to divert the journey. We want to go to a destination which is stamped rigidly in our mind without wanting to believe that something else would be better for me. That only time will say. But we don't want to step into that ease. We are discontented. We find fault in everything, including ourselves. We want to force a certain view because of our conditionings. We are not ready to actually look. We are not ready to look into what ease feels like, what going with the flow feels like. So there are 3 points for implementing WOBE. How do you practice? So the first key is to cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is so essential. So many Buddhist masters practice mindfulness. It is so important. When we eat, we must eat. When we walk, we must walk. When we read, we must read. When we meditate, we must meditate. When we cook, we must cook. So to cultivate mindfulness. The second key point is to embrace flexibility. Adopt a flexible mindset and be open to unexpected opportunities or changes. What does adopting a flexible mindset mean? Again, that we should allow others also to be themselves. We should be ourselves and we must allow others to be themselves, right? We should not try to control outcomes because when we allow the state of ease to flow in, we also open up paths to grace. We know the no thought state that we can have during meditation. And this thoughtless state, they say this is your connect to the divine. calm the mind, empty the mind. Give your best, do your best, don't get attached to the outcomes. So adopt a flexible mindset, allow others to be themselves. You, your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, everybody is a different person with a different journey. Our parents are the best parents for us. We know that. We have learned that with Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi. But we must be the best for our children by allowing them to be, not to control them. We do not own them. So we have to adopt a flexible mindset. Be open to unexpected opportunities or changes. We see that, when we are in this mindful state, when we allow that ease to flow in, we open the gateways to grace, then we can manifest. But it happens with opportunities flowing in. We are synchronizing with this rhythm of life. We are in tune with life itself. We are flowing with the flow. We can prioritize essential actions. They say first things first, second things never. But do your first things first. Whenever we feel like, telling somebody something in a dominating way, just step out of your space and look at yourself, witness yourself. Where is this coming from? Why do I want somebody to be the way I want them to be? Step out. Slowly, slowly develop a witnessing consciousness. Watch the movie where you are the key role player in that movie. Watch your actions. And like Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi teaches, watch the watcher. When you watch the watcher, time comes to a standstill. And then past, present, future, you're living it at the same time. And that will help you to manifest a life of your dreams with ease. So, one of the greatest antidotes to this is to live like a scientist. When everything you do is an experiment, you can detach yourself from preconceived outcomes. Remember in school we had chemistry labs, and I still remember very vividly in class 10 we had this experiment with ammonia and we had to get a pink fountain, correct? But in an experiment we really do not know what is the outcome until we perform it. But it's so beautiful to detach yourself from preconceived outcomes. Do the experiment very well, follow the rules, add the right ingredients. And for us in this life, meditation is the key ingredient for everything in our life. Meditation will give us the clarity. Meditation will answer our questions. Meditation will open up our paths to self-discovery. Meditation will open up the doors to grace like never before. Meditation will put us on a fast track to complete our cycles of birth and death, so that we are able to flow like ease and like never before. So flow and change. So water's ability to flow and adapt to its surrounding makes it a symbol of change and adaptability. Right? And as I had said that 72% of our body is water. And Deepak Chopra writes in his books and many other books that we have read that each and every cell in your body can be replaced in a year. You can have a new body in 1 year. So water's adaptability to flow and adapt to surroundings makes it a symbol of change and adaptability. It can represent the need to embrace impermanence and allow for change in our lives and relationships. Very beautifully put. The concept of water flowing to low places in nature can be interpreted as a lesson in humility and self-awareness. So this is so important. Only when we flow, we can change also. Only when we flow, we are fresh. Stagnant water is seldom fresh. And we have to adapt to our surroundings. Once we maneuver, like Bruce Lee says, when we learn to maneuver around the object, we will finally find a way to move through it. So water is a symbol of change and adaptability. To embrace impermanence, the whole Gita is about that. It's about impermanence and how we want to control. We want things to be permanent when we know the true nature of everything is impermanence. And the concept of water flowing to low places can be interpreted as a lesson in humility and self-awareness. And when we say from parents to child, many a times as parents, we become very egoistic with our children. We want our children to bow down in front of us, not out of love, but out of ego, mistaking it to be respect. But open your hearts. Once our hearts are completely open to our children, we all love children, but our hearts are completely accepting of them, we will be able to see that how they bloom. And that is a lesson for us in humility. What are our key takeaways from today's session will be: empty your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. Isn't it beautiful? Empty your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. Water always takes the shape of the container. So empty your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. You are a pool of clear water where the light plays. I would love to live like a river flow carried by the surprises of its own unfolding. So beautifully put. I would love to live like a river flow, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding, reaching beautiful destinations, and finally merging into the sea. From tiny, tiny waves of joy, one gets the ocean of happiness, which is called bliss. So, my key takeaways for today is be formless and shapeless like water. Just dissolve. Don't even get into this energy of resolve, that I want to resolve this issue, I want to resolve this, I want to resolve this. I would urge everybody, why not dissolve everything? So empty your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. You are a pool of clear water where the light plays. Calm, still water will reflect the light. So you're a pool of clear water. Live like a river flowing, carried by the surprise of its own unfold. And from tiny, tiny waves of joy, one gets to the ocean of happiness, which is called as bliss. So this is the last slide of our day, which is effortlessness is the key. We don't push ourselves rigidly. Don't push yourself too hard. But practice meditation. Start with mindfulness. Practice meditation. And effortlessness will slowly, slowly come in. Because meditation will put us all into this beautiful, harmonious vibration of the universe. We will tune in to this effortlessness vibration of the universe, which does not require any push. It does not require any rigidity. There are no prerequisites, just to empty your mind and be. Just empty your mind and be. So effortlessness is the key. The doing of non-doing. The watching the watcher. So with this last slide, I request you all to just shut your eyes as we go into this beautiful meditation. I urge you all, just close your eyes and get into this beautiful state of ease. Just reminisce the beautiful sounds of the waves, the sounds of the sea, the sounds of water flowing, the beautiful sounds of the rain, the beautiful sound of rowing a boat as every oar pushes the water. Just listen to all the sounds within you. These beautiful sounds as you sit in the boat and your oar pushes that water. As you visualize the rain and you listen to the rainfall. As you sit on the beach, with every wave, the water touches your feet. this calm water flowing through a spring on a hillock. Beautiful sounds of water. As you sit close to water, just hold a subject in which you're putting it, lot of effort is going in. Too much effort. Just hold this. Hold the subject in your hands with this energy. Too much effort. What does this energy feel like? It is heavy. It's a weight in the palms of my hands. It buckles down my shoulders. It weighs down on my head. It arches my spine. It buckles my knees. Just hold this weight in your hand, wherein you're putting in so much effort. Just be one with this weight. Feel this weight which is there. Now, as you feel this weight, give yourself the permission to go close to water. Just be in water. Allow yourself to place your palms with this weight in this body of water which is flowing. Just give yourself permission to place your palms with this weight in this body of water. Give yourself permission to visualize how this weight starts dissolving and becomes one with this entity of water. And as it becomes one with water, it dilutes itself, releasing this weight on the palms of your hands, putting the palms of your hands in complete ease. It releases the weight from your shoulders, putting your shoulders in complete ease, relaxing your shoulders completely. It releases the weight from your head, putting your head in a state of light ease and motion. Makes your spine relaxed completely. It releases the weight of your knees and you're able to move your knees with complete flexibility. It releases the weight from your feet. You're able to walk effortlessly. Just feel the state of ease as you relieve yourself of this weight that you are carrying. Just put yourself in a state of complete ease. As you come into this state of ease, allow yourself to feel this energy of effortlessness as everything merges into the water. It is safe to know what effortlessness feels like. Give yourself permission to allow yourself to do things effortlessly. I know what it feels like to go about my daily routine effortlessly. I have God's discernment to know what effortlessness feels like. I resonate and am in tune with this vibration of effortlessness. I am in total sync of getting all my things done with this energy of effortlessness. I look at this energy of effortlessness with complete non rigidity. I enjoy this feeling of effortlessness. It is okay for me to do things quickly and effortlessly. I flow with the flow of the universe. I trust the wisdom of the universe. These are the few affirmations that we like to instill in ourselves, in each and every cell of our body, in all planes of our existence, in all our past, present, and future lifetimes, with ease and with grace, giving ourselves permissions to let go of this heavy energy of effort which does not serve me any purpose. I allow myself to let go of that heavy, dark energy. I flow with the flow of the universe. Just breathe and allow these affirmations to occupy space in your being. I trust the universe with the roadmap of my life. When I flow with the flow, I become the creator of my life. With the path of least resistance, I become the creator of my own life. I create a beautiful life for myself. I remain in the service of life. I remain in the service of life without having any events which push me to learn more. I learn with ease and grace. I learn effortlessly. So, dear friends, today allow all these affirmations and more to get instilled in you as we move ahead in life with this beautiful energy of ease and grace. As you could just close your eyes and be for a moment, just visualize all this instilled in each and every cell of your body. This beautiful energy of least resistance, this beautiful energy of effortlessness through us. If you have any questions, you could please type it in the chat box. Slowly and slowly, as you open your eyes, you can rub your palms, and place them on your eyes. Then rub your cheeks, feel your face. Tell yourself that you are 70% water, that you are with the flow of the universe. With this, we come to an end to this beautiful class on the path of least resistance. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you for being there with me, for listening to me patiently, and for participating in this beautiful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you till we meet next time as we continue into our journey of wellness, mindfulness, and meditation. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Padmaji, you can ask your question. You can unmute yourself. Yes, please, you can type your question.
Um, One second. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Namaste. That was a very nice session and very relaxing. My question is that I recently was a victim of this site. What is that? Online scam, money scam. A very big one. It was a big jolt that I received, and I'm still recovering from it. The thing is, how do you, uh, follow the path of least resistance in this? Because I wanted money, and lots of people, mentioned that these these part-time jobs that come up in online, they do give you money. But how did it that I went into such a big uh, how was I such a big victim, and what do I do? I lost so much of money, and it was it's horrible.
Padmaji, one thing is clear that when we look out for jobs on an online thing, anything that asks you to pay money can never be right, correct?
That's right. That's something I realized. It
Anything that
was
asks you to pay money does not guarantee that it is completely authentic.
yeah. So this is something I really learned.
Yes. So, instead of now you learned this, you lost money, but money is something which can be earned again, Padmaji.
That
It's
is
it's a
true.
learning. Sometimes we learn the hard way, but always learn to, as we become meditators, as we meditate more and more, we understand that we have our instincts. Our instincts get sharpened. Before a
Okay.
thing actually happens or does, we know that it is right or it is wrong. So I will just
Yeah.
tell you that yes, you must meditate. Whatever has happened, you cannot punish yourself every day for that. Yes, it
Okay.
has
Okay.
happened, but you be a little kind to yourself and you know that, you will not do it again.
Yes, that I know.
Yeah, and be kind to yourself. And sometimes, that is why we always use these words with ease and grace, because we invite lot of hardship in our learnings. We don't learn easily. The human
Mm.
race is such, we only want lessons. We don't want learnings. There's a difference between a lesson and a learning. Lessons are very harsh. What you learned is a lesson. But we can
Correct.
have learnings because constantly when we go through this path of meditation, this path of mindfulness, you know, we attract these like-minded people. We attract a sangha, we attract friends, and we grow together with them. So we learn with ease. Always affirm that I learn with ease and grace because lessons can be very hard in life.
Yeah. Mm.
I hope this answers my question, Padmaji. You can
Yes.
ponder on
The thing
it.
is,
You
whenever
can,
I take a wrong step, usually see my mindfulness is at its minimum since some time. So I do get into a lot of this tiredness and things like you said. But many a time, the universe does not allow me to proceed in many instances. Either I don't, suppose I want to go somewhere to meet someone, like either the shop is closed or the person's not there, or it's the wrong person, anything, I don't get the vehicle to go there. Either the booking, the cab cancels or something. In this case, it was such a
yeah, so
harsh,
these are a
this
lot
didn't
of
happen here.
beliefs about self-sabotage. Lot of
Mhm.
beliefs. I would really like you to just maintain a journal about what your belief systems are like about self-sabotage, what you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself, what you feel about your life. What are the belief systems that you're carrying? What is your conditioning like?
Mm. But it happens for good. Supposing I don't get
Yeah.
a vehicle,
So,
it
see,
happens for good.
I understand that, but it is only a reflection of your inner state. What
Oh,
happens outside is what I am inside.
okay, okay.
Everything that is
Oh,
happening outside is a reflection of what I carry inside. So, what is
okay.
it that I'm carrying inside? What are my belief systems? Because I choose to believe, no, nothing works for me.
Hmm. Okay,
I
okay.
have these belief systems of self-sabotage. Nothing is working for me. And then I play victim. So I would urge you to just write down what all makes you feel like a victim. What all, just go into the depth of that. Yeah. And I will urge you to attend meditation classes and workshops by Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi and everything that is carried out in QLU.
Yes,
It
sure.
will give you a lot of clarity.
Yes, I already do. I've done
Yes.
quite a few. I'll
Yes.
continue. Sure.
It is a journey. You'll find all your answers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so much, dear Sangha. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this divine space where we can meet and share. Thank you for the safe space which is there. Thank you so much. Till we have a class next time. Bye. Thank you.